All right, in this Paint Talk video, I'm gonna give you 5 ways to increase the speed at which you learn oil painting. All right, welcome to Paint Talk, the weekly show where I sit, have a cup of coffee, and talk about oil painting. If you're new to the channel, then welcome to Paint Coach. My name is Chris Fornatero, and I'm here to help simplify oil painting so that you can get better faster. All right, so the first way is learn how you're going to learn. This means do a little bit of research and see what the process is like. This could be videos, courses, books. Find someone you like and see what their process is. There's a lot of different ways to oil paint, and it's gonna be good to know which way you're getting into. For example, there's people like Andrew Tischler who paints big, epic landscapes that are very detailed with multiple layers, and it's a longer process. But then on the other hand, you have painters like Sarah Sedgwick who does a painting in 2 hours. No way is better than another way, but it's helpful to know which way you're getting yourself into. Take me for example. I tell a lot of my students that when they're first starting out oil painting, that quantity is more important than quality. They should be doing a lot of quick paintings. So if somebody wanted to be a student of mine, that would be a good thing to know going in, because that's gonna give you a better idea of what painting is gonna be like for you day to day. And that can influence the materials you get. It'd be better for them to go out and buy smaller canvases as opposed to bigger canvases. And then like on the other hand, if someone was going to go learn under Andrew Tischler and they showed up with a bunch of little 6x8 panels, it'd probably be pretty difficult to do what he's doing on such a small little canvas. So do some research into the way that you're going to be going about painting, and don't get caught up in like which one should I choose, do the one that you like the most. None of them are wrong or right or any of that. They're just different, and you should choose the one that you like best and stick with it at the beginning for a good amount of time so you can understand how oil paint works. And once you feel pretty confident, then you can go branch out and trying other people's stuff. All right, the second thing is surround yourself with people doing the same thing that you're doing. Now, I always say the best is in-person stuff. If you can find an in-person oil painting class with an instructor that you like, even if it's drawing. There are a lot of, nighttime figure drawing. They're not even classes, just kind of sessions. Everybody shows up, you pay a couple bucks to help pay the model that comes. You can draw with whatever you want. There's not necessarily somebody teaching. It's just a great way to get practice and meet other artists, and that experience and being around other artists is very valuable. You can also do this online. You can follow certain painters that you like and use them as inspiration. You can also find smaller communities. For example, on my Patreon page, anybody that becomes a patron gets access to the private Facebook group where they can share their paintings. And having firsthand experience with that Facebook group, people love that. I feel like people get a lot out of that, of posting their work. People are very active in there. They will give constructive criticism if people ask for it. If you have a question about oil paintings, there's most likely going to be someone in there that can help you out with that. Learning how to paint is just this never-ending journey of problem solving. And a lot of times you've solved problems that maybe someone else hasn't yet, and you can help them. And vice versa. You can't figure out a certain thing about painting, but maybe somebody else has figured that out and they can help you get over that hump with just a simple tip. Also, there's just something about seeing other people doing what you're doing that makes you believe that you can do it. Like if you're in a community of painters and you feel like you're all on a similar level, and then you see someone do some really great work, it's gonna make you think, oh, like if they can do it, I can do that too. And it's going to make you want to push yourself and get better because you see what is possible. All right, the third thing is don't shy away from your weaknesses. Instead, build them into your strengths. Oil painting can be very frustrating, and it's going to be natural for you to want to shy away from the things that you're not good at. And actually, I find it's the painters that have developed a decent amount of skills that avoid their weaknesses the most. If you're out there, you know who you are. Because they've went through the process of not being good and struggling and learning, and now they've got better. And in order to keep that going and to keep getting better, they're gonna have to put themselves in positions to not be so great and to fail and to feel like a beginner. And a lot of times that's not a good feeling. And so they kind of stay where they're at. They don't venture out or try and do better things or hone in on their weaknesses and say, all right, I'm gonna focus on this because I'm not good at it and get better. All right, now I want you to try this. I want you to think about all the things that you paint well. It's the subjects that you're good at, the type of paintings that whenever you paint it, you get a lot of compliments. Everybody knows what they paint well and what their strengths are. Now, I want you to think about the things that you're not so good at painting at. You know, maybe it's certain subjects, you know, the child portraits, a landscape with a whole bunch of rocks, you know, things that if someone commissioned you to paint, you'd be like, I hope I can pull this one off. You know, think about the things that you're good at and things you're not so good at. Now I want you to imagine that a year from now, you focused on all those things that you weren't good at and you actually made it so you were the best at those. And think about how much better you would be as a painter if you took those things that you weren't good at, catapulted them above the things that you are good at. If you do that, I promise you within a year, you will get better than you even thought was possible. And I know it feels good to finish a painting that's a success and looks good and that you're proud of, but the truth is you're going to learn more from the failed paintings. So don't be afraid to push yourself outside of your comfort zone and fail. All right, way number 4, I would say 80% of learning to oil paint is just practice. You can, you know, buy every single painting video that you want. You can do every workshop that you want. You can have me come live in your house full time and teach you painting 12 hours a day. But if you aren't painting, if you're not there at the easel on your own, practicing and failing and making discoveries, you're not gonna see the improvement that you want. You know, you can break things down as much as you can and explain it, do this or that, but the actual time spent painting is where you're going to make big strides in your learning. And also understand that knowing is different from learning. There are things that I knew about oil painting that took me 10 years to actually learn it. The only way you're gonna learn it is by doing it. All right, and the 5th way is get feedback as much as possible. I've said this in another video, but learning to paint is like radar. The way radar works is you shoot a signal out, it bounces off something and comes back and gives you information about what's out there. Same goes for painting. You need to create paintings and put them out there so that you or an instructor or somebody else can give you feedback and you can make adjustments when you go into the other painting. The more times you can have that back and forth process, the quicker you're gonna learn. So, you know, take workshops, post your work on social media, put it out there. Ask people in your life that may not even know anything about painting, like ask them what they think. A lot of times they won't be able to articulate really what they're seeing, but they'll be able to guide you and help you realize that something's off. If you have someone look at the portrait and like, I don't know, something looks weird about the nose. They won't be able to say the nose is too far to the left or it's too big or, you know, looks flat. But now you know, oh, it's something's wrong with the nose. And you've dialed in the problem area of that painting. And that can help you figure it out and make it better. I still do this. I still take workshops. I'm taking one in September because I highly value that back and forth process of doing a painting and having somebody more experienced than me give me feedback. All right, now I actually have one more bonus way, and that is understand the why more than the how. You know, with tutorials especially, it's easy to follow along stroke for stroke, you know, color for color, but it's more helpful to understand why you're doing things. Like when I was first learning to oil paint and I would be buying tutorials, I wouldn't be buying them specifically to paint the painting that they did in the video. I was buying it because I wanted to see how their mind was working and understand why they were doing certain things. This is actually, I feel like, why teaching somebody something makes you better at that thing. Like I saw a big improvement in my work when I actually started trying to teach it because I had to figure out why I was doing everything. All right, hope you liked that video. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever I release a new video. And if you would like to see what I'm painting on a daily basis, you can follow me on Instagram at Forza43. I'm Chris Fornatero, here telling you to go get painting.